Hello and welcome to another video from Between CAD Classes. Today we're going to take a look at 3D modeling in Autodesk Fusion 360. Here you can see the part that I am going to model, and before I get started, let's take a look at the workflow that I'm going to go through. I'm going to start by creating this L-shaped extrusion. Then I'm going to round the top corner. Next I'm going to add the half circle extrusion feature, then the hole. Then I will add in the extruded feature on the bottom of the part. Then finally I will use the chamfer tool to create the angled shape in the back of the part. So let's jump into Fusion 360. The first thing that I want to do is make sure that I'm dealing with millimeter units since the original part is drawn in metric units. So I will simply select the arrow next to my document settings. Looks like I'm currently in inches, so I'll select the edit button here and then switch it to millimeters, then OK. As I said, I'm going to start with the L-shaped feature to begin with, so let's take a look at the detailed drawing to get some dimensions. If you take a look at the description for this video, you will find a link to the PDF for this particular part. As we can see from looking at this drawing, this feature is 50 millimeters tall and 38 millimeters wide. The front portion is 19 millimeters tall, and I can see that it has a round of 22, which means that the thickness of that top part is also 22. Then from the front view, I can see that it is going to be extruded a distance of 68 millimeters. So back in Fusion, I'm going to begin a new sketch, and I'm going to sketch on the side plane here for my first feature. Next, I'll start my line tool and snap to the origin point here. Then I can either type in my values as I go, or I can come back with a dimension tool afterwards. I'm going to come back with the dimension tool afterwards. So I'll just roughly create my backwards L shape here. Then I'll come back in with my dimension tool to apply some constraints. So this line should be 50 millimeters tall. The bottom line should be 38 millimeters wide. This feature is 19 millimeters tall, and then the depth of this feature is going to be 22 to match that fillet radius. I can see it's all black, so it's fully constrained. I'll go ahead and finish my sketch and click the home button to switch to the isometric view. Then I'll begin my extrude command. There's only one feature, so it's picked up automatically. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my extrusion distance of 68. But just in case, I want to keep my middle datum plane in the center of the part. So I'm going to change my direction to symmetric. Now currently it's giving me 68 millimeters on each side. I want 68 millimeters for the whole length, so I'll choose that option there, then click OK. Now I've got my first feature. So next I'm going to add that 22 millimeter fillet here. So I'll select my fillet tool, then select the edge. Then I will adjust the value. So once again, this value was 22. Then I'll click OK. Next, I'm going to add the half round feature on the front of the part. So taking a look at the detailed drawing again, we can see that it's centered on the shape and it has a radius of 18. So back in Fusion, I'm going to sketch on this front surface. Then I will use my circle command and snap to the midpoint of that top edge. The detailed drawing said it had a radius of 18 or a diameter of 36, so I'll just enter the diameter of 36 here. I could certainly use my trim command and trim out the bottom portion, but I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is and finish my sketch. Then I will extrude the shape. As you can see, I can select just the top portion, and I can go ahead and enter in a value. So the distance here from the front of the part to this surface is 16 millimeters, and I can see it's negative going that direction. So if I put in negative 16, you can see what happens is I end up with a little gap here. So that's not what I want to do. I instead want to extrude it to the next shape. So for my extent type, instead of distance, I'm going to choose to object. And I'm going to click this curved shape. Fusion thinks I might be trying to cut this out, so I'm going to change my operation back to join here. And you can see that it is going to extrude into the shape and line up with that curved surface now. So I can click OK, and that feature is complete. Next, I'm going to add the hole in here, and before I do, I want to create a sketch so that I can get the center point here to help me locate this hole. So I'm going to sketch on the front surface, then I'm going to click the Create drop-down and choose Projector Include and Project. Then I will click the arc shape here. Then OK on my Project tool. Now you can see it projected the arc as well as the center point. I'm going to go ahead and finish this sketch. Now I can choose my hole command. I can select the surface that I want the hole to go on. Then I can click on the point to locate it on that center point. So let's take a look at the detailed drawing again, and we can see that this hole has a diameter of 14 and a depth of 16 millimeters. So back here in Fusion, I will adjust my diameter to 14 and my depth value to 16. Currently it's giving me a point, so I want to change my drill point to flat. I'll go ahead and click OK, and now we can see the next feature has been created. However, since I used a sketch to locate that shape and I did not consume that sketch in a feature, the sketch is still visible. So I'm going to click the arrow next to sketches, and then I will click on the little eye to turn off the visibility of that sketch. Next, I'm going to add in the rectangular extrusion on the bottom of the part. Taking a look at the detailed drawing, we can see that this shape comes in 22 millimeters from each side, and we can see that it has a height of 12 millimeters, and it will extrude back a full depth of 95 millimeters. So back here in Fusion, I'm going to create a new sketch on the front of the part here. Then I will create a rectangle, and for my first point, I'm going to snap to the edge here. I'm going to make sure I don't snap to any specific points, but just on the edge somewhere. Then I will come back in with my dimension tool, and I'll select one of the side edges and one of the sides of the shape here, and enter in the value of 22. Then I will do the same thing on the opposite side. So the vertical line and the vertical line, 22 millimeters. And then the height of this was 12, so I'll select the line here and add the dimension of 12. It's all black, fully constrained, so I'll finish the sketch and extrude it. As I select this shape, you can see the positive direction is coming out. I want it to go back into the part, so it's going to be a negative value. In this case, it's going to be negative 95. Then I'll click OK. Finally, I'm going to add in the chamfer on the back edge here. The chamfer command is located in the Modify drop-down, so I'll select chamfer here. And by default, it's set to equal distances. I'm going to set this to 2 distances. Then I'll select my edge. Then I can specify my 2 distances. So you can see the vertical distance is highlighted in blue, so that's going to be 12 for my first distance. And then the second distance is going to be 6 for the horizontal distance. Now, if you get those backwards, you can always hit the flip button to try it the other way. I'll go ahead and click OK, and click my home button, and that gives me the completed part shown here. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like and subscribe, as I will be continuing to post more part modeling tutorials for Autodesk Fusion, Inventor, Creo Parametric, and AutoCAD. Thanks for watching.